Hey there, everybody. This week I am covering one of my systems diagrams. This is a diagram that I drew early on. I had a customer ask me, how do I really know what systems I should have in my business and what should I be working on first? And so I took the time to draw out this diagram, and I'll have it linked somewhere, comments, description. You'll be able to go to my website and download this. But this is today, what I'm talking about is a little bit of the history of the diagram and how you can use this diagram in your business to think about what it is you're doing from a systems perspective. What systems do you have in your business? What systems should you have in your business? And how do you use the diagram to actually help you identify, what do I work on next? What should I improve next in my business? The genesis of this diagram really, it starts from my days working as a consultant. Early on in my corporate career, I worked as a sales engineer, and really what that meant was I got involved in the sales process to help our salespeople close business. I'd usually come in and answer any technical questions that the customers or potential customers had. I would plan the implementation of our services. We sold software as a service at the time. So I would help plan out what the implementation would look like. And then I took on project management of the implementation, getting the software installed, configured, getting the customer trained and ready to use the application. So what I realized early on in this job was that I was really going to struggle helping really add value to customers if I didn't find a better way to think about the customers and their businesses. And the reason it was a problem is we had such a wide variety of customers that every business was completely different. And so the typical week that I had, on Monday, I'd be talking to a Fortune 10 bank. On Tuesday, I'd be talking to a small retail manufacturer that made sauces for the restaurant industry. On Wednesday, I'd be talking to a giant publishing company in New York City, and so on. Every company that I talked to every day, I was talking to companies in different industries, companies with different problems that they were trying to solve, giant companies, tiny companies, companies with huge resources, companies with no resources. And it really was a challenge, especially early on, for me to be able to walk into a business, and maybe I had an hour to do some research ahead of time on who they were, what they did, how they played in their industry, et cetera. But I'd have to be able to go in and talk to this business in a way that made them feel like I knew what I was talking about. I knew what was going on. I knew what their problems were and could actually provide value and help them solve their problems. So what I started to do without knowing it at the time was I really started to take a systems thinking approach to how I was helping these businesses. And I started to look at every business through the same lens of thinking about their business and systems, thinking about what is it that they're trying to do, what are the inputs, what is the process that they're going through, what are the outputs of that process. And by doing that, I could start to formulate these mental models that worked the same way, regardless of the industry, regardless of the business size, background, resources. None of that stuff mattered anymore, because I would come in with this systems thinking mindset, and I could look at a problem. I could figure out why that problem was happening. I could figure out how I could add value to that situation and actually implement something that made the customer's life easier, better, faster, that actually added real value to that customer and their business. So when you think about the value that this diagram holds, it really is every business that's out there. The way that I drew this, the way it depicts systems in a business, you could put this up against any business in the world. It doesn't matter who they are, what they are, how they do business. every business in the world looks like this once you peel off the covers, okay? And systems thinking gives you that benefit. Systems are the same in every business. Now, the mechanics are different a little bit in what's actually done. The size is different in what's actually done. Process steps might be different, but every system has the same key attributes. Every system has inputs. Every system has process steps. Those inputs and process steps create the outputs that that system is responsible for, and outcomes are a derivative of that system running, okay? Every system works that way. It doesn't matter if it's creating ads, if it's onboarding new clients, if it's developing new products, gathering feedback, how you do your accounting or your knowledge management. Every system has those same attributes and functionally works in the same way. Inputs and process steps create outputs and outcomes. Okay, so when you start to understand that, now you can look at any system, and there's a collection of tools that you can use to do system analysis, system improvement that will work for you no matter what the system is, no matter what the system's about. So not only are systems one to the next the same, every business has the same kinds of systems. Every business has to have a traffic system that makes potential customers aware that the business exists, that the business has products and services that might be solutions to the customer's problems, and begins the sales cycle to that business. Every business has to have a way to take those potential customers and convert them to actual customers. Okay, now again, the mechanics of one company to the next might be different. The way they actually convert leads to sales might be different depending on the company, but every company has to have something to do that, to take that traffic, convert it, and actually make a sale from all of those potential eyeballs that is looking at the company and considering its products. Every company has to have an accounting system. Somewhere, somehow, you're keeping track. It might not be very good. It might not be well thought out. It might be a Google Doc, but every company has to have some way they're doing some basic accounting. You have to have it. If not, you're probably in trouble with your local tax authorities, creating headaches for your own cash flow and just trying to understand what's coming in, what's going out. There are a lot of difficulties that will eventually shut your business down if you don't do something about not having an accounting system. So when you look at the drawing, it helps you to understand these are all of the systems that your business should have. Now, they're not all equally as important one to the next. Some are more important than others. And that will be somewhat determined by your business, your industry, your current size, etc. So as an example, we have several systems around people management and hiring employees and how you bring them in, how you manage them once they're in, and how you eventually exit them because they leave, because they retire, because they just don't work out, etc. If you're a solo entrepreneur, obviously those systems are less important to you today. But as your business grows and you do start actually hiring people, bringing people on board, those systems will become much more important to your business and what you're about. So every business has these same systems to actually function. And once you start to understand that, and you understand the tools that are used to improve systems, to understand systems, you can now benefit from systems thinking in your business just by understanding these tools and by applying these tools to what it is that your business does. So taking the drawing and actually making something of it for you, that's really the next question. How do you actually get value out of having this diagram? What does it do for you and your business? It gives you a place to start. Now, there are a few systems that are absolutely critical for any business. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. So many things don't matter. Every business has to have at least a few of these systems. And the first one is traffic. You've got to be able to generate awareness that you are a business, that you have products to offer in your desired customer group or your targeted audience. Second, you've got to have a conversion system. So once people are aware that you're a thing, that your business exists, you have to understand, or you have to have a system in place to take those interested people and then actually convert them into a sale. This is done in all kinds of ways, depending on the business, the industry, the products. But you've got to have something there to say, hey, this person knows who I am. Now I'm going to get them to actually buy my product and use my service, use my product, and hopefully tell all their friends about it. So the third system that every business is going to have is a delivery system. So this is, how do you actually give your product to your customers? Okay. How do you, whether it's a digital product or a physical product or combination, you've got some way that you are delivering your product once a purchase is made to a customer. If you don't have that, you don't have a business. You have to be able to get products to customers once they've given you their money. And then the last system that we have, some basic accounting. You've got to be able to track how much money came in, how much money's going out, how much profit are you actually making, how much do you owe in taxes. If you don't have those basics recorded, you don't even know if you're making any money. You could be losing money. You don't know how much taxes you're going to need to pay. That's going to get you into legal trouble and so on. So you've got to have at least a basic understanding of money in, money out. How much do you owe in taxes? So those are really what I would consider your main systems that every business, you've got to have something in place to do those things. There's a list of secondary systems as well that once you've got those first four locked in, you start taking a look at the secondary systems and identify, what do you have? What do you not have? What needs work? What can you actually improve? So thinking about the most important second tier systems in the diagram, first, there are three systems around just information management: knowledge management, task and priority management, and then process management. These are all very related, and it's all about just managing information in your business. You can be successful in business without these things, but especially as you start growing, it will become very difficult to scale your business if you don't have something in place to manage the information about your business. Okay, so I would be looking at, how do you manage knowledge about your products? How do you manage knowledge about your industry and how you fit in that industry? Think about all the artifacts that your business creates. How are you managing all of that information? You've got to have something there in order to really scale your business. Same with task and priority management. You've got to know, what are the most important things that we need to be working on? What are the priorities relative to everything else we could be working on? You've got to have a way to manage that in your business if you really want to grow and scale. And then that third piece, just understanding process management. So this is about, how do we do what it is we do? This gets really important as you start adding people to your business. Just because you can't be everywhere at the same time, you've got to have people that can do things that you would do as you would do them, or better than you would do them if you're that business owner that is starting to add new resources to your business. So again, taking that and thinking about this diagram and how you use that in your business, take a look at those priority systems. Think about how those systems exist in your business today. And you can really, each one of these systems, because systems are a way to get something done, you're really just asking yourself the question, how do I do X in my business? So when we talk about a traffic system, just ask yourself the question, how do I generate awareness that my business exists? Answer that question. You talk about conversion. How do I take leads that I found and actually convert them to sales in my business? You talk about product delivery. How do I deliver products to my customers once I've actually made a sale? And then you talk about accounting. How do I actually account for sales that I've made, money that I spend, and taxes that I owe? just ask yourself those questions of how do you, and you're going to start to identify what systems exist in those 4 areas in your business. Once you've done that for the primary 4, move on to the secondary. Do the same thing. Ask yourself the question, how do I do this thing? How do I manage knowledge? How do I manage priorities? How do I manage processes in my business? And continue to work through each of those boxes on that diagram until you've got answers for all of them. And then from there, you can continue to refine, identify what is causing you the most problems in your business today, what's giving you the most trouble, where do you need to expand or increase capabilities of your business. Based on that diagram, that drawing, you'll be able to really help yourself identify what's the most important thing for you to be working on in your business today. From this, there are a few additional resources that you can tap into. I write a lot on my website, optimizeforoutcomes.com. For our UK and Australia friends, remember Optimize in the US, we spell that with a Z or a Z. So it's optimizeforoutcomes.com. Each week I'm writing articles on different elements of systems thinking and how to apply systems thinking to your business. I do have a book that I published in the middle of last year entitled Optimize for Outcomes. This book really covers how do I improve a process? How do I improve a system? It takes you through step by step how to think about the system, how to identify what's wrong with the system, and then how to actually make improvements to make the system better for you. So that's available on Amazon.com or any of the other locales that you would find yourself in. Additionally, there is a course, Optimize for Outcomes, that is really a deep dive on the book topics. So it's about 3.5 hours long, allows you to dive into all of the different aspects that I cover in the book, just on a deeper level, more examples, more application, more understanding, so that you can better improve the systems that you have in your business. Additionally, I just put out a new course, an introduction to systems thinking for entrepreneurs. You're able to get that course on my website in the resources section. That course really gives you an introduction to systems thinking, gets a little bit technical to help you understand all of these different components of systems, how they work together, how to think about your business in systems, and break down the different pieces that actually make your system work. And then there is an advanced course that'll be finished here in July that takes it to a deeper level, takes it to another level, gets even more nerdier around systems thinking, goes through some of the ins and outs. We talk about things like feedback loops. We talk about synthesis versus analysis and what that means and how to apply that to your business. What does it actually matter for you? So we take systems thinking just down another level, get deeper, and talk through, again, more examples, more mental models, more tools that you can use to actually improve the different pieces of your business. I thank you for taking the time to tune in today. And as always, if you have questions or any feedback, you can reach me at brian@optimizeforoutcomes.com. Again, that's with the Z, brian@optimizeforoutcomes.com. You can comment down below or send me direct message, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for now, and we will talk to you soon.